What's up, guys? Quick question for you. Do you have 50-20 vision? Not 20-20 vision, but 50-20 vision. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you want to find out more, stay tuned. Welcome to the HomeGrown Ministries YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, I'm DJ, and on this channel I strive to provide wisdom and encouragement to strengthen your walk of faith. So if you like what you see here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any content in the future. Now, I asked you, do you have 50-20 vision? And where that comes from is from Genesis chapter 50 verse 20, and this is not something that I've come up with. I actually heard this while listening to a pastor that I enjoy. His name is Michael Youssef. I'll put links to the description below to his YouTube channel. He's a pastor out of Atlanta. He runs the Leading the Way ministry, does a wonderful job, has been doing it for 30 some years. If you want to learn something, turn this video off and go watch him. But if you want the Cliff Notes version of this very specific topic, watch this. What the 50-20 vision is getting at is, in Genesis, we look at Joseph's life. Joseph is the one who was sold into slavery by his own brothers, ends up having a terrible life, and everything that happens to him, he still praises God and still gives God the glory and still puts his trust in God. And at the very end of Genesis, he says this to his brothers in Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. He says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." You see, the 50-20 vision principle says that although things are going bad in your life, and although people are trying to harm you, and people are trying to do bad in your life, and there are things that are bad in your life, guess what? God is using those bad things for His glory, and for good, for good. And this is applicable to pretty much anything that you're experiencing. I got the flu on Sunday, which is why it's been a while since I posted a video. I felt like garbage, and that was really bad, and I couldn't think of anything good about that situation. For 3 days, I lay on the bed, did nothing but watched TV, and I hate watching TV. I always say I'm a guy with a camera that reads a lot. I had no interest in reading because I had a pounding headache, had the flu, was terrible. Don't wish it on anybody. But what I realize now is that because I had the flu, I'm so appreciative of so many things. I didn't see my 2 kids for what felt like all 3 days because I pretty much quarantined myself to the bedroom. But I appreciate them so much more now because of the time I spent away from them. My spouse, who took care of everything while I was sick, that is something that I really appreciate. And you know, I appreciate my spouse every day. But we've been married for 7 years now, and there are days where you just don't think about it. Being sick for 3 days and watching her take care of the entire household, our 2 kids, doing everything, all the chores by herself, made me really, really appreciate her. So although the flu was bad, and don't get me wrong, flu, bad, definitely bad, but there was good that came from that because my perspective has changed. One of the things that I heard a long time ago, can't even remember where the quote comes from, but it's something that I love to tell people, is you have to change your gratitude before you can change your attitude. And this hangs on this principle of the 50-20 principle. If you look at the things in your life that are bad and just focus on how bad they are, you will never be appreciative and you'll be angry at God. And people constantly are angry at God for the bad things in their life. But remember, regardless of what caused those bad things, external forces, internal forces, yourself, it doesn't matter. Because no matter how bad it is, your God is greater than all of those things and can use every one of those things for good. I'm going to go one step further and even apply this to politics. People, especially in the United States recently, have been freaking out over who gets elected. It's happened every election for as long as I can remember at this point. And every election, what I try to tell people is that at the end of the day, God can use either candidate for His glory. It might not be a Christian candidate, but that candidate, regardless of the outcome, whoever becomes the next president, can be used for His glory. Right now, regardless of how you feel about the current president, God can use that president for good. Doesn't mean that that president is good or is backed by God, but it just means that God can use all bad or all situations, all people for good. Some of the things that Pharaoh does in the Old Testament, they're bad things, but God uses those things for good. So remember, guys, your God is greater than any problem you face. And have that 50-20 vision to not think about the bad, but think about the glory that is going to be shown to your Father in heaven when you get to the other side of that circumstance. Guys, that's your encouraging word for the day. I hope you found value in it. I hope you're having a great day. Please, Christian friends, go encourage someone else today. Be the salt of the earth. Be the light of the world, because the world desperately needs it. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.